In 2015, I was living in Germany at the time, and Europe witnessed a huge wave of immigration, uncontrolled immigration, I would call it, from Middle Eastern countries, especially from Syria, also from Afghanistan, and some additional countries in Middle East.
Sweden's famed welfare state and its lax asylum laws has made it a popular destination for immigrants. Since the 2000s, they've had a steady high number of new arrivals. But in 2015, it peaked at over 160,000.
A lot of these folks who came as asylum seekers, they were certainly not just trying to escape the war and dangerous conditions, of course, but they were also thinking to come to countries where there are strong that have a strong social welfare system. Now, Europe, often we lump it together in terms of the quality of their public institutions, their infrastructure and whatnot. But I think that is not accurate. I think Europe is quite diverse. If one wants to separate Europe into areas which are more developed than others, I would say that Western Europe, which often includes, which almost always includes actually Austria, is rather developed, and of course Eastern Europe is improving, but it is still economically it's still behind. So a lot of people who came to Europe at the time, and believe me, there were like more than 1 million who came to Germany alone in a single year, and similar in terms of the population of the country. Austria also accepted similar number of people per 100,000 Austrians, for example. So the impact on the country or its services or its public institutions, its hospitals, schools, was very similar. Now, as I said, I was living in Germany at the time, and I started to notice that the behavior of German public, even towards me, got sour. And it got sour, I think, because there was a lot of criminal activity, and I want to be blunt about this.
Thousands of people took to the streets to protest. The immediate cause was the murder of 3 girls by a 17-year-old Welshman, Axel Muganwa Ruda Kubana. In large cities like London, Manchester, and Birmingham, brutal street attacks became increasingly common. A particularly troubling trend was the rising number of knife attacks. Every day in British cities, there were several such incidents.
Qu'avez-vous fait de la France?
Not long ago, France stood as a shining emblem of the Western ideal, a land of fine cuisine and effortless elegance. But today, that image is little more than a fading memory. In Paris, under the watch of ancient monuments, rows of homeless tents stretch along the streets. In the suburbs, cars are set on fire.
There was a lot of criminal activity inflicted. They were coming from culturally very different places. For example, people coming from Syria, Afghanistan, they are not used to the open culture, that you have in Europe, in Germany, in Austria, in France.
Migrants are arriving uninvited and refusing to adopt Danish customs.
We're not interested in getting a whole lot of people who we're supposed to integrate.
On New Year's Eve in Germany, as many as 1,000 women were attacked by groups of men, many of whom were reported to be migrants. This provoked a debate. What happens to young migrant men once they make it to Europe? Can they fit in? And are they really a danger to women? Basically, classes teaching men how to better treat women.
They are not used to seeing women wearing clothes that we consider normal in the West. So it led to some unfortunate incidents, many unfortunate incidents. Women were being chased, they were being followed, they were sexually harassed. There were many instances, many cases of rape. In addition to that, we also started to see a lot of what we call terrorist attacks in Europe. There are still, to the present day, there are, you hear about these, cars running into people, walking on the street, on the sidewalks, car being used as a tool to inflict damage, to kill people, to injure people. And that happened quite a bit. We are, of course, aware of all those Christmas market car rammings, van rammings, almost every month or every few months you hear about knife attacks in the trains, at the railway stations, pretty much everywhere.
The country that once proudly spoke of integration is now doing everything it can to reduce the number of migrants and to send back those who have already arrived.
The uncontrolled migration, it's not working in our daily life. How can I put it? We don't have a lot of time.
Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. Your countries are going to hell.
If somebody asks me, can I really differentiate between a person from China and a person from northeast of India, just looking at them? Or can I differentiate a person from China and South Korea? I know some people can. I'm sure Chinese can differentiate, but I cannot. Because I don't have that eye. I am not trained. Most people are not trained to just tell where the person is coming from. People can look at me and they could think, and a lot of people have thought that I am probably coming from Pakistan, which used to be India, of course. A lot of people think I'm from Middle East, from some Middle Eastern country. So now what happens because of these kind of incidents is that the general public cannot differentiate between an immigrant who is peaceful, who is contributing to the economy, who is having a job, who is a good citizen, essentially, right? Who's a good neighbor, is a good father, good mother, is a good resident, paying his taxes, doing everything right. They just look at this person and they think, these guys, they automatically associate you with every negative thing that is being associated or ascribed or attributed to some of these brown guys who committed these crimes. And there were a lot of these incidents happening at the time, and still you hear about this even in a small country like Austria. Like there is a city of Villa in south of Austria. There was knife attack. A guy was killed in the street. And this is becoming kind of part and parcel of life in Europe now. And again, this is who are committing these crimes. Of course, I'm sure that local people also commit crimes. They commit violent crimes as well. But they are considered, these are our own people, and we have always had this, and we have to put up with this. The nature of these crimes has been very different, right? The nature of crimes committed by people coming from Middle East are ideological crimes. There is a clash of ideologies, there is clash of beliefs, there is clash of cultures, there is clash of religion, and I think the people, or the people like myself and people who look like me, or people in general, from India, for example, who could be mistaken easily as people coming from Middle East. And to be very clear, most people coming from Middle East are very peaceful. They are law-abiding people. They are working hard. They are pro-family people. They pay their taxes. They want to integrate in the societies. They want to learn the language. Many of them have integrated very well into the societies. But still, when these kind of incidents happen, then the local population or the native population of these countries are gonna look at people who look different in a different way. They will look at you, they will not know who the hell you are. They will just think, another guy who is probably having the same ideology. Oh, I should be careful, maybe he'll attack me. When I was in Germany and this shit started to happen, with these crimes and these attacks and women being chased and whatnot, I remember I was at a shopping mall in the city, which is a small city of Marburg, and as I was exiting this mall, at the main door, there were a couple of girls, white German girls, I believe. They were about to enter. And then they saw me. At that time I was sporting some beard also. And they said something like, shit, like Ausländer, like foreigner or whatever. Or Flüchtlinge is another word that has been used in a very demeaning way. In Germany, in Austria, in Switzerland, German-speaking part of Switzerland, and everybody is just labeled as Flüchtling, a refugee. So, nevertheless, this is what's happened.
Det här är en svår tid för Sverige. Jag kan inte nog understryka hur allvarligt läget är. Sverige har aldrig förr sett något liknande.
Less than a decade ago, Sweden had one of the lowest levels of gun crime in Europe. Now, they're the second highest. In Stockholm, gun violence is roughly 30 times that of London.
It's difficult to blame the German society or the Austrian society or the European societies or society for this, why they react this way. Honestly, if people from another country showed up in India and they were creating mess or they were doing all these bad things, I will be pissed off. Most Indians will be pissed off. They will tell their government that these people have to be kicked out of the country. And then it's not about just kicking out, a few, because it becomes more of a political thing. Then everybody has to face the music. Everybody who looks like that has to face the music. And that is what is happening in Europe right now. Smart people coming from India or from parts of world where people look similar to people, some of these guys who are doing these bad things here, they get labeled also that way. So they have to really prove that they are not like that. So the burden of proof lies on the individual then, on the brown individual, to prove that, hey, I'm seeing a lot of people, even kind of volunteer to tell, where they are from, even without being asked. And they would volunteer to say that, yeah, they are Hindu, they are not Muslim, although I think it's not really about religion. I think every religion preaches peace. No religion preaches violence. So these are personal ideologies or ideologies of a subset of people. Yeah, I think this is really bad, what has happened. And again, you cannot blame really all immigrants for that. At the same time, you cannot expect a different response from these societies like Germany, Austria, because what should they do, right? They welcomed all these guys who came around the time and are still coming, from these war-affected areas in the Middle East. So they welcomed them. They gave them a place to live. They provided them, with everything they needed to live well, and also gave them a pathway to become citizens of these countries. A lot of them have already become citizens, or some are on their way to become citizens. So they did everything right as the societies who welcomed them, countries who welcomed them. But in light of these unfortunate incidents attributable to a small subset of people, then everybody gets questioned, everybody gets judged, everybody gets perceived in a negative manner. And then, the burden of proof lies on the individual to really prove that they are different, they are peaceful, and they are not gonna create all this shit